Welcome to the Recon Trader. In today's video, I will share with you a couple trading strategies you might utilize once Bitcoin breaks out of this triangle pattern. And as you can see, the price action is getting squeezed and the eventual breakout is inevitable. Whether that be towards the upside or the downside does not make a difference for me. I will be trading in either direction once I get confirmation of that move. Now, it is important to understand that the triangle pattern tends to break in the direction of the trend. And in this case, Bitcoin is currently trending down. And so with that being said, the price action would tend to break down out of this triangle. And so we might see the price continue to get squeezed and then break down. However, with that being said, we could also see the price just break down from here. Now, if it does break down towards the downside and breach this lower trend line, then I'll be interested in getting into a short. Now, the first thing I would look for is confirmation that we're truly breaking down through this trend line, so I need the candle to close below this trend line. The next bit of confirmation I'd want to see is that it is below the moving average. In this case, the purple line you see on the screen is my moving average, and I want it to be below that. Another form of confirmation you could look for is a retest of the trend line and then it breaking down from there. Then you could perhaps get involved after confirmation of a failed retest on the close of the next candle on its way down. Now, I could wait for the price to come into this support level here around 33,000 and see if it actually is able to breach below that level. If it does, then there's a good possibility we're headed back towards 31 or 30,000. And so you could wait for that breakdown to get below this level. I personally would get involved a little sooner, but it is very possible we come into this resistance and bounce off of that and then head back up and maybe perhaps start a new uptrend. Now, before you get involved, you want to know where your stop loss and take profit targets would be. Now, as far as a stop loss goes, you might consider somewhere along this trend line. If the price was to get back above this trend line once we've broken down below, you might consider placing a stop loss at that level. But until we actually get down below this trend line and see what the structure actually looks like, it's hard to actually project a stop loss. But before you enter the trade, you definitely want to have a stop loss in place. Now, as far as take profit levels, the first level I'd be looking at is this 33,000 level. And a lot of times what I will do is scale out in thirds. So if I bought a position of, say, 3 Bitcoin, I might take profit of 1 Bitcoin at the 33,000 level. If the price continues down, I might take my next profit at the 31,000 level. And then I'll hold my remaining third for the 30,000 or a breach down below 30,000. At the same time, I'll take into consideration if we reach the 31 but start to go back up, I might take profit again once it crosses above the 33,000 level. So when I'm going short, I typically look for support lines as possible exit points to scale out of a position. So again, for profit targets on the short side, I'm looking at most likely the 33,000, the 31,000, and then the 30,000 or lower, maybe around 28 to 27,000 would be those targets. But at any moment that price starts to move back up and breach those levels of, say, 30,000 or 31,000 or 33,000, I'm more than likely going to scale out and lock in what profit I do have. Now, on the flip side, if we get this price action to bounce around in here and then break out towards the top side, then my strategy is very similar, just in the opposite direction. I'm looking for the price to actually breach and close above this upper trend line. Once I get the confirmed close above the upper trend line, I also need the price to be closing above the EMA. And for added confirmation, I would be looking for the RSI to be above the 40 level. That to me would be a more bullish sign for this price action. Now, much like the short, on the long position, I'm looking for the close of that candle, and then my stop loss, again, would most likely be somewhere below this upper trend line. And it would more than likely be based on previous price action. Had we actually broken above on this candle here, I probably would have had my stop loss somewhere along this area, as if the price retreated back that far, more than likely we were going to sell back off. So you're going to need to look at previous price action to determine your stop loss, but a good point of measure will be this trend line. And that is also why you can actually use that as a second confirmation before you get involved. So you could wait for it to come down, bounce off, and if it bounces off, that's a pretty strong signal that we're headed higher. So you could then enter the position on the next close of the candle after bouncing off. Now you also need to consider your profit targets. Now the first target I'd be looking at is this 40,500, as that is previous resistance. And so again, I would more than likely scale out 1/3 of my position at this level. The next level I'd be looking at is 42.5, which was also previous resistance. And then after that, we actually have a pretty good range to go. You could target the 51.5 level, and that would be a nice big profit maker on the last third of that position, while keeping in mind anytime we retreat back down through these profit levels, you might decide to go ahead and take profit so you don't give it all back. So with that all being said, one last factor to take into consideration would be volume, and right now we're seeing decreasing volume. And so as a confirmation of the direction of the breakout, you'll definitely want to see some volume, and you'll want to see it in these higher levels, not these lower levels of volume. If you can see a candle close after breaching one of the trend lines and that volume is up in this range, then that could also lend credence to that possible move. Now, just to quickly recap price targets, if this is to break down, I'm looking at 33,000, 30,000, 27,000, and if that 27,000 level breaks, the next level I'm looking at is 22,000. Now, if we break up, then I'm looking at 4,500, 42,500, and 51,500. And realistically, probably around 45,000 would have a little bit of resistance as well, plus it's a psychological level. So that pretty much wraps it up. I just wanted to share a couple trading strategies for when this price does actually break out. Regardless of what direction it breaks out in, I will be ready to trade, whether it's short or long. So, if you like this video, do me a favor, spike a like. If you like videos about crypto trading, be sure to shoot that subscribe button. I will be uploading a lot more trading strategies in the future. Also, if you have any questions or comments, drop those down in the comment section below. And in closing, remember, never send your money into battle without first doing your recon. See you in the next video.